I might get flack for this. It's, in a sense, it's in kind. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm not trying to be adversarial. How do we know that Charles Darwin existed? He was born over 200 years ago. How do we know that Charles Darwin existed? How do we know that Henry VIII existed? Henry VIII. How do we know that King Louis existed? Because, I mean, to be fair, there are images, or at least one image, of Jesus. Darwin, we had, with Charles Darwin, we had a picture, but how do we know it's Charles Darwin? He has a picture of himself. There's a picture of him with his finger over his lips. In the shush type of position. How do we know that Jesus existed? It's been 1900 years since Jesus was around. 1900 plus years since Jesus was around. How do we know that Jesus existed? How do we know that John and Peter existed? We have writings attributed to them, but how do we know? Is there a way? Is it worth investigating? Is it worth investigating Charles Darwin's existence? Is it, I've got bread in my teeth. Is it worth investigating that Charles Darwin actually wrote The Origin of Species? I think he probably wrote other things, I don't know. Why is that worth investigating? How do we know that The Origin of Species was not altered? I'm just being plain and frank here. I'm not trying to raise ear. How do we know that The Origin of Species was not altered? How do we know that the book of John in the Bible, or 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John for that matter, were not altered? What does my shirt say? How do we know that George Washington existed, that Benjamin Franklin existed? How do we know that we live by the Constitution?